The developing saga over whether Ryan Lochte and his teammates told the truth about being held at gunpoint last weekend, taking a new turn last evening.
They'd been pulled from their flight before it took off from Rio's airport. Their passports temporarily confiscated, police say. And according to the Olympic Committee, Jimmy Fegan is now in communication with the authorities.
Unlike his fellow swimmers, Ryan Lochte had already gotten on a plane and gotten back to the United States before the police here in Rio could find him to re-question him about what they say are inconsistencies in his story.
The stakes here only getting higher. Brazilian police saying that they're keeping the door open to prosecuting all 4 men for providing false testimony.
Those who called the 2016 Rio Summer Olympics a raging dumpster fire weren't that far off this week when the mountain bike course caught fire. Nothing like a little karma with your carnival, okay? But in what is supposed to be a 2-week period of peace, harmony, sportsmanship, and a world holding athletic hands, which in the case of Rio would mean washing those hands over and over and over again in bottled water, this competition has provided these spectacular moments of athletic prowess, along with sewer water-infested courses, green pool practice water, crooked judges, and oh yeah, a robbery that wasn't and could turn out to be real legal trouble for a star American athlete. Then again, if you think about it, it's all just part of the 21st century Olympiad. Because not only do we have Ryan Lochte and his fellow swimmers lying about a robbery and apparently breaking a bathroom door at a gas station, we have more controversy because we have graft, judges being sent home, and people selling tickets when they're caught naked. Let us dive into waters other than those where the rowers are off the Rio beaches. And welcome back to Sports Professor, the man who invented the concept of talking and explaining sports and the intersection of business. He's got a lot of splaining to do today. Rick Horrow joins us. All right, Mr. Horrow, good to talk to you again, my friend. I know that you would never do what Ryan Lochte did, and you as a lawyer would also know that you don't talk to the cops and give them false information. But this is these guys showing up at a gas station 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. They apparently, according to reports we have now, break open the door to an outside bathroom when they couldn't get in. They got in a tussle with the guard there, and then they lied about it. You know something, Rick? This guy is 32 years of age. He is not a kid. This is not good for the American swimming image, if you will, but also it's just plain stupid.
Well, listen, I will agree with the last 2 comments, even as a lawyer, although I've been watching the news cycle pretty clearly, and I'll be calling some of my folks all day, and I've never seen a story flip-flop as much as it has today. So the latest info may, in fact, be that there's a 3.5 hole in this tape where there actually was a robbery. So I'm not ready to go with the facts yet. If I did, I'd buy some real estate in Florida or go through a crystal ball or something. But I will agree with your last 2 points, which is stupid. The guy's old enough to know better. He didn't violate any laws by being drunk out on the street, but whatever he did was not in the best and highest interest of the U.S. swimming program. And frankly, it's now a public relations issue well beyond a legal or moral or ethical issue.
Exactly. Look at that. We agreed on at least 2 things. I got Horrow. That's going to be 2 cocktails right there from him, or 2 lunches, depending on how you look at it. But let's talk about the really difficult stuff here that's going on. And I use the words raging dumpster fire, and I'm serious. I know you and I may disagree on this. But look at Rio now. Now we have the Olympic boxing. They dropped the number of judges and referees at the Rio Olympics. This goes to this one fight, the Ireland bantamweight Michael Conlan, where he lost to the Russian boxer Vladimir Nikitin. I've seen that tape. That was not even close to being a loss for this kid. But how do you get to the Olympics, Rick, and you've got judges? They're fixing the games.
Is it fixing, or is it just they have a judgment no better than a deciduous fern? I suspect that the best you could say is that they didn't see the fight that you saw. But I will tell you,
or that anybody else saw.
Well, listen, there is how many games have you and I both seen where the referees made the wrong call or didn't see the right thing, and we accused them of being, fixing and taking bribes, but it doesn't automatically follow.
Well, I'm going to challenge you on this one. You and I have been to a lot of games, and we've seen that from a lot of officials in the league sports. But this is boxing, and this is a sport that is very specific, because if you're beating the daylights out of somebody and they're bleeding, usually there's a good reason to think that they're winning the fight. Granted, Olympic boxing is different because you have technicalese with the gloves that have to make contact at a certain point. But still.
Hey, Ed, but still, I will end up agreeing with you, but I'll go about it roundabout, which is that Olympic boxing is different than anything you've seen. You could be bludgeoning somebody because you got a couple of good shots in,
right?
But it's totally scored based on how many taps on the other target, which is the guy's face. By the way, the other thing I was going to say was, you remember all the years where we thought the figure skaters and the gymnasts should have won and they got hosed, and we thought the fix was in? Well, the International Skating Union actually did find that judges had some problems and removed them. This may be that, or it may be just bad eyesight. So I understand that it is not the first time, nor will it be the last, that judges made the wrong decision.
And here we have also, finally, Patrick Hickey of Ireland, the top...
All right, this is a fun one. I agree with you on this.
Okay. The top Olympic official in Europe arrested on Wednesday, selling tickets to the Rio Games on the black market, about 1,000 tickets. And when they found him, they went to his hotel room. He answered the door completely naked. Later came out in a white bathrobe and basically said, "What have I done?" Come on, this is an Olympic official, Rick, who's selling tickets. This to me is endemic of what the IOC is at this stage in the 21st century. They're all crooks.
Which one do you have more problems with, the scalping of the tickets or the answering the door in a robe?
The tickets, yeah. It's not going to be the robe, brother. I'm not going
No, yeah. Hey, no, and I'm kidding. But listen, scalping tickets is as old as the hills, too, but not
But it's an Olympic official, Rick.
Yet.
It's a guy. He's in charge of the Olympics.
That's very fair, and he gets a lot of tickets, and he's making money on the side. And you would say, if it's like the FIFA thing, yeah, he made a lot of money on the side elsewhere without having to worry about ticket scalping. This one, there is no excuse for, whether the guy answered the door in a tuxedo.
It's just a great part of the story, that's all. It is in another tuxedo.
How do you embellish it with the guy entering?
You don't.
By the way, he came to the door in a robe. Let's
You just stop there. You wonder why he comes
done.
naked to the first place in the door when every door has a peephole. What did he do?
I'd run the other way.
He
run the other way.
I guess it was. Okay, a couple of minutes here. Let's talk about the NFL. Season's coming up soon. 21 days, I think, to one of the openers here. The league is threatening to suspend James Harrison, Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, and Mike Neal for failing to cooperate with their investigation into allegations related to banned substances. This came up in the Al Jazeera report, which we already know is rife with fraud and bad reporting because they were completely wrong about Peyton Manning and his wife and HGH. So do you see what I see here? The union and these players need to fight this every single step of the way because there's no proof here, Rick.
Well, no. I see it another way. I see it that the union and management had collectively bargained a process. This is not the NFL harassing all pros like Clay Matthews and others. This is the NFL agreeing to go through procedures and investigate, and obviously they cleared Peyton Manning, and these other guys wouldn't even begin to talk. Now, there is a requirement under the bargaining situation where people need to cooperate. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just because the Al Jazeera report was crooked, that doesn't mean that the NFL's investigation...
But wait a minute, let me stop you there. If the Al Jazeera report was wrong and it was based on bad information, and we already know that, how can you then ask players to come in for a test and base that test and your suspicions on what basically is a fraud?
If I'm Matthews and everybody else, I hire my lawyer, and I say, what does the collective bargaining agreement require me to do as far as number of tests? If I'm required to do it, I'll do it. If I'm not, no story is going to make me do it. That's the answer.
Would you expect, I mean, and you and I both know this has got some time to play out here, but would you expect that these players are going to open the season and we will still have this hanging over their head? I don't see a quick resolution to this.
Well, I don't. But on the other hand, if I'm the players and the NFL, I find a quick resolution for this because look how long Deflategate took. And the end of the day, Brady gets what he would have gotten before the thing went to the Federal Court of Appeals. So it is in everybody's interest to wrap it up quickly.
All right. But do you think they'll play this season?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Look at that. I got a one-word answer out of you. That's the first time in 25 years that's ever happened. No. By the way, we'd like to thank you so much. We'd like to thank you so much for being here today, even though we know you're out in the hinterland somewhere. And
I'm in Orlando, and I can see you, and you can't see me because I can't hear you. This is the first time in our professional relationship where
Trust
you don't
me
talk loud
something,
enough for me
Rick,
to hear
I
you.
don't always look to see you. Please, believe me, I've seen too much
Talk
of it.
a little
over the
louder
years.
next time so I can hear you.
No fooling. Okay. Thanks, Rick. Rick Horrow, thanks a lot, buddy. We'll talk to you again soon. All right. By the way, Rick and I have never met each other before. We don't know each other, and it's all just a wonderful gig. We're both SAG actors. Rock on, true believers. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night and good luck.